Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is Leonard with the Artist Collective. Check us out at artistcollect.com. If you have not signed up for your training yet, we have awesome trainings in your membership area. And yeah, we are here today. This is week number 2 of our live stream strategies training. And I like to call it a workshop because, we're doing stuff and we're doing activities and stuff like that. And I want to make sure that we are giving you some tools and some resources and things that you need. So I'm not going to call it a course. That's all like hands off. I'm going to call it a workshop. So it's time to do some work. Um, but yeah, we have been talking about live streaming. Obviously, everyone's been talking about live streaming for quite a while now, and it has, taken over, a lot of businesses, a lot of conversations, and all of those, sorts of things that we normally look at in the music industry. Companies, organizations, the whole industry is now focusing on, how we can continue, how we can thrive, and how we can, share our art and our gifts and our music and all of that without actually being in the physical presence of our fans. So we've been focusing on live streaming as a way to help you do that. So this whole month we are talking about different aspects of live streaming, and today's not going to be any different. But before I get to that, I do want to see if you are tuned in. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Just give me a shout out there in the comments, and I'd love to say hello, see how you guys are doing. And I'm going to share my screen here. What's up, Vinny? From the Space Coast, which always reminds me of this really, really old cartoon called Space Ghost. I just dated myself, as I like to do quite often. But yeah, we are here this morning, and I want to talk to you about a couple of things that are going to help you be more successful, not just with your live streaming, but as we've mentioned before, live streaming is just one type of content. So when we're talking about live streaming, we're also talking about just how you're delivering content to your fans. It just so happens that right now, live streaming is the best way to do that, and there's all sorts of statistics that are basically letting us know why that is. And one of them is the fact that people are watching live stream content 10 to 20 times longer than any other type of content. So they're going to be on your page 10 to 20 times longer than any other type of content that you can produce. And think about it. Why is that? Partly because, it's live and people don't know exactly, you know, what's going to happen next. It's not like looking at a static post where, you can read it and assess it and then it's gone. It's literally like, oh, I wonder what Leonard's going to do next. I wonder if he's going to pull up a random slide that has nothing to do with the presentation. See, it's crazy. But all statistics aside, it is something that's difficult to translate, and I understand that. Just being on the stage, um, Bolingbrook, Illinois, what's going on? Um, and let me know, yeah, if you get a chance to click on that link, I would love to be able to see who's actually commenting as well. But one of the things with Facebook is that if you're in a private group or anything like that, it actually does not show your name because it's all about privacy. But if you're in the group, just let me know who you are, or click that link. Um, yes, and I'm going to say tuning in from Nashville. Is that Julia? Possibly. What's going on, you guys? Thank you for tuning in. But so one of the things with actually getting this whole live stream process and your whole live stream strategy down, the difficult part is if you've done shows. I know we've got a lot of producers and songwriters and different types of artists, so I'm not going to assume that everyone had gigs taken away. But if you are someone who was used to being on stage, like I am, hey, what's up, Brian? If you're someone who is used to being on stage like I was, one of the most difficult translations for me, one of the most difficult things to really get used to was being on a stage in front of people, whether it was just a few or whether it was one of our larger crowds that we were able to benefit or be blessed to play in front of, regardless of the size, there was that immediate interaction. There was that I can look in that person's, eyes. I can check out this person's facial expressions and know that they're just not into it, or that this person's really feeling it. We were a dance band, so it's like we would just look and say like, okay, nobody's dancing yet, but they're dancing in their chair. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. Trying to translate all of that, real-time assessment to, a little green dot on a laptop or your phone, it can be a really difficult thing. And it can be something that I know was very difficult for me a few years ago when I first started live streaming, was thinking that, what, I have to be myself, but I realized like I was really dependent on, or really used to that one-on-one interaction, or that one-to-many interaction. So it takes time, it takes practice, but that's what this workshop is all about. It's not just going to be, hey, here's this piece of gear that you could use, or hey, here's the platform that has the most people. It's going to be stuff like, hey, here are some things that can help you show up, and then when you show up consistently, and then maybe here's some things to say to get you through those first couple of minutes of like breaking the ice and things like that. So those are the kind of things that we're going to be focusing on, in addition to having some really, really cool guests. We are going to have some cool features and platforms to show you and to walk you through, to give you deals on, to give you access to, and all that stuff. So kind of continuing with that train of thought, today what we are going to focus on is consistency. And the whole thing with consistency is that there are several different kinds. And let me pull this up just a quick second here. Make sure this is a little larger so that you guys can see that. And that's not what I want. That's what I want. There we go. And so as we're going through, this whole rest of the course, one of the things that I want to do is I want to give you like some foundational, foundational topics, some foundational things to think about. We're kind of continuing along the path of what you guys were talking about last month. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the training last month, which was Facebook and Instagram ads for musicians, please do that. Willie Chill and AC Evan did an awesome job of breaking down the customer journey. And that's what we're going to continue to do, is give you tools to break down and access your customers through their journey of getting to know you. And last month was all about paid traffic. It was about how to set up your ads, how to create that video headline that's going to get people to watch your video for a certain length of time, and then take that interaction and then create an audience from that, so that then your next video, the other content that you send, you already going to know that they're interested because they've already watched your video. At least they're going to be aware of you. So putting money into that funnel is one way to drive traffic to your page, to your music, because it is based on their engagement, and it's not necessarily based on demographics. Oh, I want to target people that live in a certain place or that like this certain band. It's a lot more specific than that. So what we want to do is we want to continue that conversation and then talk about how you can do that organically. So you've got your paid traffic strategy. Now we want to have an organic traffic strategy where you are showing up consistently, and so it's kind of that whole time for money. It's a trade-off. So you're going to show up consistently, and each time you're going to have a process. Each time you're going to have value that you're offering and things like that. And we put a poll in the group last week, I think it was, but in the comments, just let me know, how often do you stream? How often do you go live on your page or on your socials? Is it once a week? Is it once a month? And let me know if you haven't started yet, and that's fine too. This whole thing is going to be able to meet you where you are. So if you haven't started yet, we've got the tools for you. But yeah, let me know how often you stream, and maybe like when the last time you went live was. So with that in mind, consistency if you haven't heard, consistency is really, really important. However, it's not just about your schedule. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to break down 3 different types of consistency.